Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bandits Show. This week I'm joined by Paul Bennett and I'm joined by Jake Roberts, who it's his first appearance on a proper Bandit Show, other than a quiz.
An appearance?
Yeah.
It's kind of a very just out appearance.
I would. We'll start this off by saying that there is an audio version of this available on Spotify for anyone to listen to. And as you can maybe see by Jake's face and hopefully see by my face, the Bandits are still taking part in Movember. We've currently raised just £200 this week. And if you want to sign up yourself, even though it is late in November, the link is in the description, or you want to visit the Bandits donation page, the link is also in that description. I'll start the same way I've started the past 2 weeks when I've had no guests on. I'm going to start with my top 10 teams in the NFL, and feel free to jump in wherever you feel like I've messed up. I am starting at number 10, making the first appearance on the list. I've got Arizona.
Me too.
I feel like there's not much you can argue. The only reason I've got them number 10 is I think defense is still a bit shaky. They have to win a shootout, but if, DeAndre Hopkins starts doing stuff like that every week, you can't really bet against them. Then,
I've got them this time as well. But, I mean, I think between 4 and 10, there's not much between them.
No, it's usually the top 3 is sort of your definitive best teams, and then it's a lot of good teams that need an extra piece somewhere. I'm going to move up to number 9, and in the same spot that I had them last week, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, I feel like the defense is starting to show up. They have to win by putting a lot of points on people, which they can do. Now, I feel like the Raiders are one of them teams that I could easily say, especially if they win this week against Kansas, just bump them up to number 4, number 5 very easily.
I didn't have them in the 10, but they were very close because, again, they're in one of those throw blankets on them teams. Like Arizona, make great strides this season, and they can run the ball, can't they? You can't give them 10 out of 10. That Josh Jacobs is pretty good.
Then I feel like the Raiders, I'm not as sold, but you can see that John Gruden's got players buying into a system, and they're all fighting for each other, and they've sort of, there's obviously weak spots, but they're playing in a sense that doesn't show that.
Yeah, I think with the defense has some issues still, misplays and bails them out. So it gets key stops, or it'll take the ball away from someone without being an intimidating defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people they can throw to as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Waller, and even Jacob sometimes.
Yeah. I do think they're on the rise. They could go higher in the list as the season goes on.
Yeah. Moving on to number 8, in 2 spots up from last week, I have my Miami Dolphins. I've got them at 8 because I didn't want to go crazy because they have just beat the Chargers, who find ways to lose. And I feel like if I just chucked them straight up, it'd sort of be a bias from me. But top 5 defense in the league still. Special teams is performing every week, and the offense is getting better. They're not making mistakes is the good part.
I had them a little bit higher. I put them at 6, but I mean, if you look at the NFC West, which is considered quite a competitive division, they've done very well against them.
Yeah.
So, they've done very well against them. Their own division's probably, Buffalo are really strong, aren't they? And we talk about the Pats because it's the Pats. So, they are certainly outperforming the last decade probably, and they're doing really well this year. And the coach obviously knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah. I could see it possibly winning that division if they carry on the way they're going.
There's a big Week 17 matchup, Buffalo and Miami in Buffalo.
Well, I've got the Dolphins at 6. I've got Buffalo at 5.
I think.
So I rate both teams.
Yeah. I think that the Bills have a slightly more inconsistent defense, but have a far superior offense than the Dolphins do.
Yeah, it's Allen's a dual threat, isn't he? He's got a good arm on him. He's now making better decisions, and the receivers are pretty decent as well, aren't they? Brown and Diggs.
Yeah, and Cole Beasley pops probably once every 4 weeks. There is talent on.
Yeah, I mean that last drive. Yeah, the
Definitely.
defenses fell off from last year. I kind of think that if they get anything like last year's form together, then they'll be a real threat. They'll be a really dangerous team.
Yeah. I'd say it's a close one between that, but like you said earlier, 4 through 10, you can probably mix and match.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
I moved up to 7. I know they didn't play this week, but moving them down a slot from last week, I've got the Titans. I still think Derrick Henry obviously just runs over people. Ryan Tannehill does what he needs for that offense. They've got good cornerbacks. I can't say much about the pass rush because it doesn't seem to exist. But
yeah, I think the Titans have hit some poor form at the moment. I don't know. It's they're not far away, I think.
Season. I don't think.
You don't think they'll make the playoffs?
I don't think it's doing good as they did at the beginning of the season. I was going with what you were saying. Performance has gone down.
Yeah, they started really well. They fell off a bit, but that doesn't. Every team's going to have a couple of ropey weeks, aren't they? So they're not in the top 10 at the moment, but they're still an above average side, aren't they?
yeah. Oh wait, they did. I completely forgot they did play this week. They played the Colts on Thursday night.
Thursday.
Yeah. I should probably have knocked them down a few slots, but what's done is done.
Yeah, you knocked them down. That'll do.
Yeah. Number 6, moving down 2 slots, I have the Ravens.
I've put them at number 6 too.
I had 7 for Baltimore.
Yeah. They can't seem to figure out their offense at the minute. I'm not marking them down for the Patriots game because that weather just if he was already losing when that monsoon started. There wasn't much hope for him to come back into that.
No, that was awful. They had opportunities. I look at them, they've still got a very talented roster. You kind of think they're going to be there or thereabouts come the end. I'm not overly sure if they're trying to get a bit complicated with Jackson, trying to change what was successful, and whether they just try and go back to what worked last year, because the fellow's an absolute...
Yeah.
He's a terror, isn't he? And they're taking a little bit away from him. It seems to have, I don't know, to dull down a little bit more vanilla and probably.
So I think one of the interesting parts about the Ravens offense is the Ravens offensive coordinator actually used to be Colin Kaepernick's offensive coordinator. And he's the same person who tried to make Colin Kaepernick into a pocket passer. So maybe he's retreading old mistakes and trying to get Lamar to throw more
traditional type of quarterback play, but there's no need, is there?
No. Not when you have.
There isn't. You've got these
Lamar.
fellas now. Yeah, the multi-dimensional threats, aren't they? And I know you run the risk of injuries, but you have a look and quarterbacks get injured in the pocket as well.
Yeah.
If whenever you're crashing into a 300-pound lineman, bad things happen, isn't it? You possibly are better off taking your chances with somebody 40 or 50 pounds lighter down the field.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Drew Brees just got wrecked on what looked like a safe hit in the pocket.
Yeah.
No. But I'll move up. I've got moving up 2 slots from last week. I've got the Bills. I've moved them up because if it wasn't for a freakish Hail Mary last-ditch play, they'd have won that game after a very impressive 2-minute drill by Josh Allen.
Yeah, I've got Buffalo at 5 as well. You
No,
Can you be too harsh on them? It's a shootout, so you can be harsh on them because the defence didn't step up and they conceded a lot of points. But I think they're all right. I think they are one of the better sides.
Yeah. My top 4. I get I question it in sense, but I've got the Bucks at 4.
Okay.
I mean, obviously Teddy Bridgewater went out, but a convincing win over Carolina, and Carolina's really scrappy. Like, they've played in a lot of close games, and they're going to really try and push you.
They're entertaining out the Carolina.
Yeah.
They're a slightly below average side, but they shouldn't have done anything this year.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have. The roster, but they've done a really good job and they're entertaining.
Right. Yeah. So to move up, I've got the team that obviously has destroyed the Bucks twice. I've got the Saints at 3.
Okay. I had them at 4.
4 the Saints, and then I'm guessing you went Bucks over.
No, I have Bucks down just under. I have Bucks at 8 underneath Baltimore, but really close. The thing that with the Saints that worries me is Breeze if he's out for any time, because they'll be a little bit different with Winston in there.
I mean, is it going to be? I don't know whether it's actually a bad thing. If Winston doesn't if he doesn't make mistakes, which in the past he's been prone to, yeah.
Prone to?
If he doesn't make mistakes, that I mean, he can throw a ball further than Drew Brees at the minute, so it might open up.
But his problem is his decision making and throwing it to the wrong team.
Yeah,
it's all very well throwing the ball down the field, but if it keeps going to the wrong team, and it might just have been the system, and it might just have been he didn't recognise things. It depends what they ask of him to do, and if they're going to ask him to hit Michael Thomas on slants and give it to Alvin Kamara a lot, then they could be okay. But I've got a feeling that teams are going to want to see if he can beat them going down the field.
Well,
they're going to Kamara's going to get a lot of attention. They're going to challenge Winston to beat him going down the field, and they're going to give him all kinds of Robocop coverages and different looks just to try and confuse him and see if they can take the ball away.
I mean, he's in luck in the sense of his next 4 games are Falcons twice, Broncos and Eagles.
Yeah, he has a decent part of the schedule for them.
Just keep handling it.
Yeah, and that might still work, but it's less likely to work now than if they had Breeze there. So I had them at 4. But it wouldn't surprise me if they dropped down a little bit.
Moving on to my my number 2, I have the Steelers at 2. I have the Steelers at 2 just because the Steelers' defense, like I've said for a few weeks now, the Steelers' defense is unreal. Really good. They really get after the quarterback. They've got solid linebackers. The Minka Fitzpatrick has an interception every week, it seems, or some big stop in the end zone. But I think this was the first week that I've seen them put away a team against the Bengals. This was the first week where they beat someone, and I was convinced that they beat someone.
Yeah, but for a team that's the only undefeated side and more than a 9-0 to be second.
Yeah,
and I had them at 2 as well, but it was only just because they are pretty good, and that defense is just it's good to watch.
Yeah.
It's done properly, isn't it? And the black jerseys help.
Yeah, the Steelers are good, but I don't see them maintaining an undefeated record. I think the Titans? The Titans came down to a last-minute play. The Ravens came down to a last-minute play.
Yeah.
I mean, it was coming off an emotional week, and it was closer than a lot of people thought, but they almost lost to the Cowboys. You know, this against the Bengals is the first time I've seen them put a team away.
See, the Cowboys game for me was one that I almost called, not in that way, because every year, the Steelers go somewhere where they're 14-point favourites and make very, very hard work of it. They really do. And it's the Cowboys are terrible. They are terrible, but they played quite well for a half.
Yeah. You can't argue with that.
So you've only got one team left. You've only got one team left. I haven't said the Packers called. Do you really hate Rodgers that much?
No, I don't think they're that good. I think every team in that top 10 would beat the Packers.
Okay.
In fact, I've seen the Bucs humiliate.
Yeah, I've got the Packers at 3 at the moment. I think their receivers are getting it together.
I can't see it. I think Rodgers doesn't.
You just hate Rodgers?
Rodgers doesn't trust anyone other than Devontae Adams for whatever reason. This week, they went wildly away from Aaron Jones, who's one of the most dynamic running backs in the league. The defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
I think they'll be all right.
They'll make the playoffs, but it wouldn't surprise me
comfortably.
Wouldn't surprise me if, say, I mean, they might end up, if they get the number 1 seed or whatever, but they might end up playing a bad team. But if they get the Rams in the playoffs, or the Cardinals, or they're gonna lose.
I don't think so.
I don't think that defense is good enough to match up with any of the teams that I've named off. That's my thoughts.
No, you're really entitled to them. But you hate Aaron Rodgers, and I think it's clouding your judgment.
See, I don't get it, because I don't hate Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks that's ever played the game.
Oh, okay.
See, I know it seems like
you're not keen on him, are you? On a personal level, yeah. I get it.
Number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, we can move on, can't we? They just are.
There's now, at this point, there's a gap between the Kansas City Chiefs and the rest of the league that's probably going to put them as 7-point favourites in every game.
Yeah, they are pretty good. There's no Super Bowl hangover, and they look like they're just ready to go again. If
you can run a play where you put your quarterback in motion, and it works,
Yeah.
What can you do?
I know. The only thing is who's the backup to Mahomes? I'm trying to think now, because they have a problem if he gets injured.
It's
yeah, they do, but yeah, so they've got a huge problem if Mahomes gets injured. The drop off there is significant, but every team's like that, aren't they? If you've got a genuine franchise quarterback, they get injured, you're in a whole world of trouble.
I mean, for example, as bad as the Dallas Cowboys are, look at the drop-off in production between Dak Prescott to Andy Dalton, who I don't think talent-wise there's that much apart from them, but clearly.
Between Prescott and Dalton?
Yeah.
No, I think we found that results-wise for the Cowboys, no, it isn't, but performance-wise for our offense, it seems to be massive. I mean, one's had all the snaps in every practice and every training session up until the other one actually coming in and starting to play. So it's very hard to judge. But I think Prescott's proved that he's going to earn a lot of money in this offseason.
Yeah, he's getting that contract now. That's it.
Well, but maybe not with Dallas.
Where do you see?
Maybe not with Dallas.
Going though.
Some you'll pay him a lot of money, because if you think that if Dallas continue on this trend at the moment and they end up drafting first, second, or third, they're going to get a rookie deal, high talented quarterback with potential, who isn't costing them $35 to $40 million a season. Somebody's going to end up paying that, and with that much money tied up in running backs and wide receivers, it will give them the ability to actually pay some people to tackle people and to back passes down and set passes, because at the moment it's terrible on that side of the ball. So if you think they could get a Trey Lance or someone like that, they could just be set to go again very, very quickly, a very fast turnaround.
Yeah. It seems,
but it's a very brave person to let him go.
It's going to be very brave because there's fans are going to rally around Dak with his leg now.
Yeah, but I don't think Jerry Jones cares. I think he'll do what he thinks is best.
No, Jerry Jones wants a Super Bowl. That's all he wants.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe for more content from us, and check out all of our social media links down in the description: Spotify, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Remember to watch all the other content on the Bandits Show, and see you next time.